In the tranquil village of Medjugorje, a momentous revelation unfolded. A vision bestowed upon MIRJANA, a woman of unwavering faith, whose encounter with the divine would reverberate across generations. This extraordinary experience, laden with urgency and profound spiritual significance, carried a message not only for the Catholic faithful, but for all humanity. It was a divine summons urging the faithful to awaken, prepare, and embrace the trials ahead with courage and steadfast belief. The vision began on an otherwise ordinary day, as MIRJANA knelt in prayer, her heart attuned to the sacred. Suddenly, the heavens split open, bathed in an otherworldly radiance that defied earthly comprehension. A voice, both commanding and compassionate, pierced the silence. The hour approaches. The fate of the world teeters on the edge. What I reveal to you must be proclaimed to all, for only through preparation can souls withstand what is to come. At the heart of this revelation stood the figure of the Pope, the vicar of Christ on earth, depicted in a state of profound anguish. This was no mere physical ailment, but a spiritual torment, as though the weight of humanity's sins and the encroaching darkness pressed relentlessly upon him. The voice continued, "A Holy Father shall bear the burden of the world's purification. His suffering is not in vain, it is a harbinger, a sacred omen. Through prayer and intercession, his trials will become the catalyst for the redemption of countless souls. Stand beside him, for his strength is your strength, and his pain is the price of salvation." This prophecy underscored the Pope's role as a spiritual pillar during an era of unprecedented upheaval. His suffering, though harrowing, would ignite a global call to unity, prayer, and moral awakening. MIRJANA's vision was a wake-up call to the faithful. The time for complacency had ended, the hour for vigilance and solidarity had arrived. As the vision deepened, the darkness gave way to light. Before MIRJANA appeared a young man, radiant with holiness, Carlo Acutis, already canonized for his extraordinary devotion to the Eucharist. His presence, luminous and serene, was a beacon of hope amid the foreboding shadows. The voice proclaimed, "Behold Carlo, the model of purity and faith. Though his earthly life was brief, his legacy will illuminate the path for millions. In the coming storms, his example will fortify the weak, inspire the weary, and guide the lost back to the embrace of God. Let his love for the Holy Eucharist become your own, for it is the source of true strength." Carlo Acutis, a saint of the modern age, emerged as a symbol of resilience and divine love. His life, marked by humility and unwavering commitment to Christ, would serve as a spiritual compass for those navigating the chaos to come. Yet the vision did not shy from foretelling tribulation. The skies darkened, and a nation stood on the brink of devastation, besieged by a rising power whose shadow threatened to extinguish peace. The voice spoke with solemn gravity, "A mighty adversary shall rise, bringing bloodshed and despair. The earth will tremble, and the memory of tranquility will fade. But fear not, for faith, unshaken, will be your shield. Even in desolation, my light will pierce the gloom, and those who cling to me shall endure." This apocalyptic warning painted a world on the precipice of conflict, yet it was not a message of doom, but of hope. Amidst the turmoil, the faithful were assured that divine providence would sustain them. Their trust in God, fortified by prayer and sacrifice, would transform suffering into victory. As the vision unfolded, celestial wonders illuminated the firmament, shooting stars, eclipses, and enigmatic lights that danced like divine heralds. These signs, though awe-inspiring, were not to be feared, but interpreted as harbingers of the Lord's imminent return. The voice declared, "Mark the heavens, for they will speak my truth. These omens are not random, they are my messengers, signaling the purification to come. Prepare your hearts, for the trial is near. but my grace will be your refuge. The vision further revealed a world ravaged by natural disasters, wars, and plagues, a crucible in which humanity would be tested. Yet, within this fire of tribulation, the voice proclaimed, "Through suffering, the world shall be cleansed. From the ashes of destruction will rise a new dawn, a time of peace, unity, and spiritual rebirth. Only those whose hearts are pure, whose faith is unyielding, shall inherit this age. They will lead humanity into an era where love, truth, and divine wisdom reign supreme." This purification, though fraught with pain, was framed as a necessary prelude to redemption. It was not an end, but a transformation, a divine pruning to cultivate a harvest of holiness. The faithful were reminded that their perseverance would birth a world renewed, where the lessons of suffering would forge a deeper, more vibrant relationship with God. MIRJANA's vision stands as a timeless exhortation to hold fast to faith in the face of uncertainty. It calls upon believers to unite in prayer, to draw strength from the examples of saints like Carlo Acutis, and to trust in the promise that light will always conquer darkness. As the storm clouds gather, may we find courage in these revelations, knowing that our trials are not in vain. The future, though shadowed, holds the dawn of divine victory, a testament to the enduring power of faith, hope, and love. MIRJANA's prophecy, a testament to faith amidst trials and triumph. At the pinnacle of her divine vision, MIRJANA beheld a radiance unlike any she had ever known, a transcendent light that cascaded across the heavens, dissolving the shadows of despair. This celestial brilliance, brighter than the sun itself, was accompanied by a final, resounding message from the divine voice. "This is the sign of my promise. After the period of darkness, the light will return, and my kingdom will be established on earth. Be ready, be faithful, and never lose hope." These words, imbued with unshakable certainty, echoed not only in MIRJANA's heart but in the collective spirit of all who had come to hear her testimony. The promise served as an unyielding anchor for the faithful, a reminder that beyond suffering lies renewal. For those who cling to their beliefs, the prophecy foretold a future where peace, spiritual awakening, and unity would emerge from the ashes of tribulation. It was not merely a warning of hardship, but a call to resilience, a challenge to rise above fear and trust in the divine plan. MIRJANA, though shaken by the magnitude of her encounter, understood her role to share this revelation with the world. No matter the cost, she conveyed her vision to the priests of Medjugorje, whose unwavering support ensured her words reached far beyond her small village. Her message rippled across continents, stirring hearts with its urgency. Some embraced it as a lifeline, a source of solace amid growing uncertainty. Others met it with skepticism, their doubts reflecting the age-old struggle between faith and disbelief. Yet even the most hardened hearts could not ignore the gravity of her words, which seemed to resonate with the tremors of a world on the brink of transformation. As months passed, the world held its breath. Every event, a faltering papal health, geopolitical tensions, or celestial anomalies, was scrutinized for signs of the prophesied darkness. The faithful responded with fervor, turning to prayer with renewed dedication. Churches overflowed as communities sought refuge in shared devotion, many invoking the intercession of Carlo Acutis, whose youthful sanctity had become a symbol of unwavering trust in God. When the Pope's condition worsened and rumors of war ignited global anxiety, it felt as though MIRJANA's vision had begun to unfold before their eyes. Yet amid the chaos, her message remained steadfast. Light would triumph over darkness. Those who stood firm in faith would find themselves shielded by divine grace, guided by celestial messengers through the storm. The heavens themselves seemed to affirm this truth. Shooting stars blazed across the night sky, eclipses cast eerie shadows over the earth, and unexplained lights flickered in distant skies, phenomena that defied scientific explanation and pointed to a higher design. These signs, visible to all, yet understood by few, served as reminders that humanity was not alone in its trials. The prophesied period of purification arrived with devastating force. Earthquakes fractured continents, floods swallowed cities, and storms raged with unprecedented fury. Wars erupted, diseases spread, and the fabric of society strained under the weight of collective suffering. Yet, within this turmoil, a deeper purification unfolded. Humanity's moral and spiritual failings were laid bare, forcing a reckoning with the consequences of pride, division, and neglect. In the face of such devastation, faith became a lifeline. Those who clung to prayer found strength in the promise that darkness, however overwhelming, was not eternal. Carlo Acutis emerged as a beacon of inspiration during this time. His life, a testament to purity, humility, and devotion to the Eucharist, resonated deeply with a world desperate for hope. Though he had passed decades earlier, his legacy endured, guiding the faithful through the tempest. His story reminded believers that holiness is not confined to grand gestures, but found in everyday acts of love and service. Churches became sanctuaries not only of safety, but of solidarity, where communities gathered to pray, mourn, and uplift one another. MIRJANA's words, filled with maternal wisdom, urged them to persevere. Hold fast to the light within you, for it will never fail. Slowly, the tides began to turn. As the storms subsided and the echoes of war faded, a profound transformation took root. The collective suffering had purified hearts, drawing humanity closer to its Creator. Prayer, sacrifice, and unity became the pillars of a new era, one where faith was no longer a private conviction, but a public force for healing. The celestial signs that once inspired dread now glowed with the promise of renewal. Peace, fragile yet enduring, returned to the earth, accompanied by a spiritual renaissance. In this reborn world, faith became the foundation of society. Humility replaced hubris, gratitude supplanted greed, and compassion guided decisions once driven by ambition. The lessons of the purification era were etched into the collective consciousness. Survival was not a product of human strength but of divine mercy. MIRJANA, now in the twilight of her life, watched this transformation with quiet joy. Her prophecy had been fulfilled, not as a mere prediction of doom, but as a roadmap through darkness to redemption. The legacies of MIRJANA and Carlo Acutis endure as timeless symbols of hope. Their stories remind us that even in the deepest shadows, the light of faith persists. They teach that purification, though painful, is the crucible through which true renewal is forged. And they assure us that no trial is insurmountable when faced with unwavering trust in the divine promise. After darkness, the light will return. As their message continues to inspire generations, it calls us to reflect. How will we carry this light forward? How will we honor the lessons of the past to build a future rooted in faith, unity, and love? The answer lies not in fear, but in action, beginning today, with courage, conviction, and an unshakable belief in the dawn to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection and hope. We invite you to share your thoughts on how MIRJANA's prophecy and Carlo Acutis' legacy have touched your life. Subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to stay connected as we explore more stories of faith, resilience, and the enduring power of divine light. Together, let us walk forward in hope, knowing that even the longest night yields to the morning.